Big news on the Epstein files. Convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell will testify Monday before the House Oversight Committee. And new video also shows parts of a deposition she sat for in 2016 and may give some insight into how she'll answer questions Monday. Watch.
How many teenagers did he have that were professional masseuses that worked in his home?
Check the Foreman Foundation.
How many?
First of all, I'm not aware of teenagers who worked in his home.
Did Jeffrey Epstein have a scheme to recruit underage girls to use them for sexual massages?
Check the Foreman Foundation.
Can you ask it a different way?
Did Jeffrey Epstein have a scheme to recruit underage girls for sexual massages?
Objective Foreman Foundation.
If you know.
So, I don't know what you're talking about.
Joining me here in studio, Danielle Bensky, dance choreographer, performer, educator, Epstein survivor, and one hell of an advocate. I'm so glad you're here. So as you listen to that, listening to Ghislaine Maxwell, there was for a moment that you thought she might want to say something, but an attorney stepped in and prevented her.
Yeah.
What is your sense of what she really wants to do?
Such a good question. I don't trust anything that she has to say. She is a master at the art of deception. And so even just having her speak is a little bit disconcerting because we just want to make sure, you know, she's in this for herself. So we want to make sure that this isn't just her way of trying to get even more of a sweetheart deal. We already know that she's been moved to this like country club of a prison, playing with puppies and eating better meals, you know. So we are all sitting on the edge of our seats, I think, to see what she has to say, but I also think she's perjured herself so many times that I just hope that everybody takes it with a grain of salt.
I mean, you have to wonder, because in this country, has she paid her debt to society when she gets out of this country club prison that she's in right now?
Yeah.
Or is there something that you think by being honest with the committee on Monday that she could get herself into trouble even more than she's in right now?
I don't know. I hope that she, you know, we all hope that she decides to stop protecting perpetrators. I think that that is at the heart of a lot of what we're seeing in the files is that perpetrators are always being protected, and we want to know more about the inner workings. We talk a lot about the participants and about this list, name the list of people that people were trafficked to, but we really need to go back to like Richard Indyke and Darren Kahn, Richard Kahn and Darren Indyke. We need to go back to the accountant and the lawyer. We need to go back to the core root problem here, and I want to say something on that. You know, Richard Kahn was making $50 million a year from Jeffrey Epstein. That was his salary. You can't tell me that that is a normal salary for somebody to make, right? And so we're seeing these numbers that are just ridiculous. I mean, Darren made $25 million a year. So like that in itself, I think is worth investigating, and I know a lot of survivors agree.
Where do you get those numbers? Because that is outrageous.
In the files.
Huge.
In the files. You can find this information in the files. So that's where we also want to see more of follow the money, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have access to a ton of financial records right now. I think there's a bill that we're looking to pass to be able to access those financial records. And I think if we follow the money, then we understand way more about how this whole enterprise worked, because it was multiple properties in multiple places. And so we just want to make sure that we know, you know, we need to follow that trail.
Unfortunately, information about you was released in that tranche of 3 million documents. What did you see about yourself, and what kind of chilling effect did that have on you? Yeah,
the chilling effect is really, I mean, it's on me, but it goes larger than me. I think, you know, I had found my name in multiple documents. I had found my name in a 302, and it was literally, my nickname had been redacted, but my full name, like Danielle Hannah Bensky, with all of my identifying information, my address, I mean, you name it, where I was working at the time, all of that was released. But what really bothered me about it was there were other Jane Does in that document that were also outed. And there is no reason, you know, for me, I'm public, but there's no reason why our government should be outing a Jane Doe who has worked so hard to keep themselves, moving forward in this life for almost 30 years and trying to overcome this horrific experience. And so I do think that there was a piece of me that froze, not just seeing my name, but seeing their names out there. It would have been better if the document hadn't been redacted at all. But I think the chilling effect is really important to talk about because, this became about survivors, not just Epstein survivors, not just Maxwell survivors, but it became survivors of abuse as a whole. And it's a huge part of our country. And now we fear that by watching us go through this process, who would want to step forward and say, I am an abuse survivor and I'm going to hold a powerful person to account if they know that their information is just going to be splashed everywhere. So
given the fact that Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche said, hey, the reason we're not able to put this out as required by law in the Epstein Transparency Act on December 19, and instead it's going to come out 6 weeks later because we're really trying to redact everything we need to and do this the right way.
Yes.
I mean, like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does this feel intentional?
It does. Yeah, it does feel intentional and deliberate. I mean, there was another document where my name was Daniell and the E was left in, and then Hannah Bensky was left in, and on the next line it said Danielle. So it's like, again, like just these redactions they're just ridiculous. And for me also, we still have 3 million documents we haven't seen. And there's a lot in this 3 million. I do want to say that, we need to start investigating this 3 million first. Yeah. But if this is the 3 million that we're seeing, what are we not seeing? And it's certainly not to protect victims. We know that to be true if all of our identifying information has been out there, including nude photos of underage women, girls.
Well, I had the pleasure of talking with you during the commercial break, and I'll say it again here publicly. I admire you so much.
Thank you.
And
so
you're
much.
just going to keep going, and we're going to keep following.
Thank you
and you've
so
got the
much.
wind at your back, my friend.
Thank you.
Danielle.
Thank you for having me.